Hello and welcome to this episode of the AI Show. This is Seth Juarez. How is everybody doing? So funny story here. My water heater broke, and the folks showed up literally right now to fix it. That's great. I also realized I was trying to push the stream, and LinkedIn was like, no, it's not time yet. And I'm like, yes, it is. And it's like, no, it's not. You scheduled this for 11 p.m. Oops. My bad. So if you think it's 11 p.m. right now, it isn't. Well, I mean, it is somewhere. How's everybody doing? Where's everybody coming from? Let's take a look at the comments here. Feel free to put comments. It's a very interactive show. Jay McCormick is here. Jay McCormick! Hello, my friend. Welcome. If anyone else is here, just to make yourself known here, and we'll have a chat. As always, it's time to talk about what we're doing today. Let's do it. All right. Here we go. So the other day I actually broke my arm, this arm thing that holds the mic. So I have a new one, and it actually stays in place. It's quite good. Number one, we're going to be doing question. That A is terrible. Answering. This is terrible. This is terrible. Let me turn my volume up here. This is terrible. Question answering with Disha. Now, the thing about Disha is she was going to be here live. Like, she was like, yeah, I'm ready. And we're like, Disha, you're in India. And she's like, yeah. Like, that means it would be like midnight, you coming on a Friday night on the AI show. And she's like, yeah, I know. I'm like, no. We can't do that to you. And she's like, okay, what do we do? And I'm like, well, we'll record it. So we recorded her yesterday. But I think I can answer questions. So I'm going to play something that we recorded just yesterday. No one has seen it. It's brand new. Brand new stuff. So we're going to do that. Number two, more, and then we have an option. So we have two options. So I'm going to let y'all decide here. Tell me what you want to do. More Rochambeau. And here we're going to just dive in, and we're going to try to finish up inference, and then start to plan some ML ops stuff because y'all know the model isn't very good, and it's primarily because it needs more FaceTime with me. So we're going to figure out a way to actually give it more images to train on and see if that would actually help it do its job. So we're going to do that. Or alternative, and y'all can decide later when we get to it. I wanted to start working on, so there's some cool models in Hugging Face, but there really isn't a standard way to get them to run on Azure just yet. So I wanted to build the thing, and I started working on it to take Hugging Face models and convert them into something called ML flow models, so they can be run. So I want y'all to think about that. Which one do you want? But first, as you know, we have Disha. It's going to tell us all about question answering. Let's get her on right now. Here we go. You're not going to want to miss this episode of the AI Show where Disha tells us a little bit about question answering now in general availability. Make sure you tune in. Hello and welcome to this episode of the AI Show where we're talking all about question answering in general availability now. Disha, why don't you tell us who you are and what you do?
Thanks, Seth. Thanks, Seth, for having me on the AI show. I'm a product manager with the Azure Cognitive Services team, more specifically the language vertical of Azure Cognitive Services. And my team essentially builds NLP features, which are then used by enterprises to power their use cases. And I'm very happy to be here.
Awesome. So let's start first with the basic question that hopefully you'll answer. What is
Yeah.
question answering and what problems does it solve?
So, question answering is one of the NLP features that we announced in general availability at Ignite, which was November 2021. So, one of the core use cases that people use our service for is conversational interface, is building conversational interfaces or chatbots. So, essentially, whenever a business has to build a chatbot or a conversational interface, which they then surface to the end customers or even their employees to build like meaningful user experiences, that is where they use our service, right? And our service can be clubbed with various other cognitive services and bot services to build even more sophisticated bots. For instance, question answering can be coupled with speech to build an IVR bot, right? So that's how businesses use our service. And when we released the service at Ignite, we essentially announced two capabilities. One was custom question answering, and the other was pre-built question answering.
So when we're talking about custom, because we talk about these things usually is like we have a model that we just use, and then there's like a custom one where we have to train up. Is this the same kind of thing, or am I thinking of this wrong?
So, yes, you do have a model that you basically train essentially, but with custom question answering, we keep the model static, but users can save the data in one knowledge base essentially. So, what happens is they have their own custom knowledge base of information to which they keep adding the data. They can add various data sources. They can add unstructured sources, semi-structured sources. They can add chit-chat data sets. They can even hand curate, add manually their own Q&A pairs. They can link Q&A pairs. They can do a bunch of customization to the knowledge base. And what we do is whenever a user query is received by the service, we search across this custom knowledge base and return a response, right? So they do not train models per se, but they keep copies of the data, and we basically search across the most updated version that they have published, right? Which is really what custom question answering is.
So if I understand this right, I have a bunch of knowledge that I want the service to answer whenever questions come to it. I can leave that knowledge there with the service, and that's what makes it more customized.
Correct. And you can keep updating it. For instance, today your data is X, and 2 months later, let's say your release date changes, right? So you can keep updating it, and your users will always have the latest information because the service runs whenever a query is received, it runs each time on the updated knowledge base, right? Instead of taking in past data or caching anything. So you always get the latest information.
I see. So why would someone not use this one and use, you said there was another kind, so there's a custom question answering and then there's the other kind. What's the
Correct.
difference and why would folks use one over the other?
Correct. So with pre-built question answering, so there are many enterprises who probably do not have the bandwidth in the first place to maintain this custom information, or they do not need to really. For instance, they don't think that the data changes too quickly. For instance, it's just a FAQ, right? FAQ page which keeps constant, right? So they don't really have a lot of the changing data that they need to keep updating. Or for instance, uh, they don't want to pay for the storage, right? That's also another reason that you basically, if you keep your data somewhere, you need to pay for storage. So in these cases, when they don't really want to pay for storage or they don't need storage, right, what they can do is they can use pre-built question answering, where what they do is they send the entire block of text along with the user query. And what we do is, what the service does is it basically searches for the response to the user query across the block of text that was received and just returns a response on the fly. So it's just simpler for them, and it depends on your use case whether you want to really maintain a custom database which keeps on changing, which you, and there's a bunch of things you can do which I'll be demoing shortly. But all of that is not available with Prebuilt. You just pass a piece of text and a query, and return the response.
I see. So that's interesting because, for example, you may not want to have those things stored anywhere else, and you can literally, like, say I have a web page and I want someone to ask a question about that web page. I can send the web page with the question, and it will just
Yeah.
give me an answer with the pre-built one.
Yeah, and even more importantly, not for just public web pages. Let's say you have data in, privately saved or in some other storage, which you don't want to dedupe your data and put everything on our storage again, right? So
Mm-hmm.
even in those cases, you can just read out that data, read out the document, just pass the text. Maybe you want to remove some sensitive information and don't want to, pass that. Any of those things you can achieve basically.
I see. That makes a ton of sense because I was thinking, why wouldn't I ever just store everything over there? But you're saying there might be sensitive documents where you have to clean them, then send them, and then have a question answer. That's amazing. This sounds really cool. Can you show us how it works?
Sure, Seth. So, before I begin with the demo, I would like to show you an example of an unstructured document and a semi-structured document, right? Because I mentioned when I was talking about custom question answering that we support both kinds of documents. So, this is a classic example of an unstructured document that you can see. This is a blog on Surface Laptop 4, and as you can see, there are essentially paragraphs after paragraphs. So it's essentially a few paragraphs tied together, some images, but there's no real hierarchy here. Like there is no pattern to it, no table of contents, no structure here, right?
Correct.
But I will show you a few things that we see here. So there is of course a lot of information about Surface Laptop 4, but there's information around sizes, and there is one piece that I want to focus on, and that is the price. For instance, this is the statement around price that is mentioned on this document, starting at $999, right? So this I asked basically I'll be querying this later on. That's why I wanted you to look at it. So this
Got
is
it.
an example of an unstructured document. Now I'd like you to like to show you a semi-structured document. So again in the scope of Surface products, this is a user guide, like a manual that we get, when we buy something. And you can see there is a table of content, so there's a set structure, right? So there is a topic, for instance, let's say set up your Surface book, that's a topic, and then the three subtopics. So if someone asked a question about how do I set up my Surface book, they might want to also know about these three sub steps. So when you have this sort of hierarchy, what we do is we essentially create multi-turn questions, and I'll be demoing that shortly, and that can be achieved because there is a pattern or hierarchy to this document. With an unstructured document, we can't really retain any links between the different paragraphs because there isn't really any links. So we just do a full search across the entire thing. And that's just what I wanted to show you, that these are the two different kinds of documents. Now I'll just directly jump to the demo.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So we first visit the language.cognitive.azure.com link. So this basically is the link to our language studio experience. Here, as you can see, we have showcased multiple NLP features. So things like summarize documents, text, detect language, all of these skills you can essentially try out from this interface. And here only I'll be basically demoing both the skills of question answering, that is the pre-built and custom. You can see two tiles here under answer questions. The first tile is essentially the pre-built skill. We're going to be using this to test out the pre-built skill, and the second tile is to test out the custom skill, right? So before we start doing that, we need to have a language resource, right? That's how we essentially access these skills on Azure. So we need to create a language resource, which you can do here. So this is my avatar and my ID. So you basically click on select here, and you essentially, if you already have a language resource that you've already created from Azure portal, you can select that, or you can start creating a new one, right? And you basically fill details around subscription, location, pricing tier, all of that when you do create a language resource. In the interest of time, I've already created a language resource
Nice.
which is called language Q&A, and I'm just going to be using that, right? So it's pretty straightforward, and our documentation explains how to create a language resource for you. So I'll just quickly come here and click on open custom question answering, right? So the first thing you're supposed to do when you come to custom question answering is creating a new project. I just do want to add a note here that whenever a first time user interacts with the experience, they will be given a set of prompts which will direct them to do which step after the other.
Got
It's
it.
currently disabled in my experience because I've already used this a few times, but you will have a step by step, guide as to what to do. So as you can see, the first step is to create a project. Now, what is a project? It is like an empty. So when you first create a project, it will be an empty sort of location where you can add your data sources that I was talking about, right? So when you initially create a project, it is like an empty data store. So you basically just, it's very simple to create a project. You type a name, you type a language, you can look at the other details that you had already selected. Let me just show you what it would look like. So I'll type a name, I'll type a language, and next. And here is where you can review all the details and click on create project. Again, in the interest of time, I've already created a project. So we'll just quickly look at it, but it's super simple. When you click on create project, you should see your project created in like a couple of seconds.
And then for clarity,
So
this is the one where we're giving it data to learn about. Is that right?
correct, correct.
Got it.
So a project is like a knowledge base where you add data sources.
Perfect.
So since we were talking about Surface Laptop 4 and Surface Book and all of that, so I just created a project called Surface, right? And this, let think of this as a project. So we were talking about our use case of powering like a chatbot for custom queries, right? So you can think of this as a project that will essentially Microsoft can essentially use to build a chatbot to answer customer queries around Surface products, right? So that's the kind of use case one could employ by creating a project on Surface.
Awesome.
So we click on this, and the first thing, it's collapsed. So the first thing they tell that is you have to manage your sources. So we essentially have to add data sources here that you were talking about, right? So you essentially click on this. You can add URLs, you can add files, you can add chit chat, right? So I've already added a couple of files that the one that I showed you. I'd added like a manual and I added like a blog, right? And I also added a few questions, manual questions, which went under the editorial source. And it automatically creates and adds those questions in the editorial source. So this is currently my knowledge base has these three sources, right? Now what do I do? So the second step, as you can understand, is probably to edit the knowledge base, right? So we come to this section of editing the knowledge base. Here, as you can see, the moment you click on it, so I had mentioned that whenever we add a semi-structured document, we extract questions out of them, right? And that's how we create the knowledge base. So you don't always have to type question and answers, but when you add documents, we extract those Q&As for you, which is essentially what you see here. So our system has extracted about 156 pairs, and a couple of them I have added. So this one, who should I call for issues and what about employee discounts? These are the two questions I added. And the others, and which is why you would see a source type editorial under both of them. But
I see.
starting from user guide, all of these are pulled out from the sources that we added. So let me quickly show you one. So here, when we were on the semi-structured document, we spoke of set up your Surface Book, right? So let me quickly search for that Q&A. Set up your Surface Book. Yeah, so as you can see, that Q&A pair was extracted, set up your Surface Book. So that was a question. We extracted an answer, and we also extracted the subtopics: charge your Surface Book, set up Windows, choose a mode. And these are essentially all the three subtopics that you see here. And if I were to search,
That's really cool.
set up your Surface Book here, yeah, this is what you would see. So this is the answer that we pulled out. And then these are the three subtopics. And for each of these subtopics, I can pull out answers. So let me quickly test this section that I'm talking about. So if I, let's say, type, set up your Surface Book, how do I set up? Let me just quickly set up Surface Book because so as you can see, the answer was pulled out and all the three subtopics were pulled out. Now, if I click on charge your Surface Book, the answer linked to charge your Surface Book was pulled out, which is essentially the same as you see here. Connect the two parts of the power cord. Connect the two parts of the
Oh,
power. So this is how a multi-turn conversation is maintained by our service, right? We retain the relationships between topics and subtopics to power to send. And what does this help with? It helps the customer. It helps the our customer, which is the enterprise guide their customer. So let's say they don't really know what they're asking about. So we sometimes help. They can help the end customer. Okay, so maybe they want to also set the mode, so things like that. So this is, and you can always add your own prompts. So it's super customizable, so you can always add more prompts than were there in the original data source.
and
So
it's cool
that's
because
one.
if you're using your service this way, And I love the editorial part because I thought you could only put documents in
Yeah,
there. But let's just
yeah,
say you're doing telemetry on the service and you're finding a
yeah,
question that that's being asked a lot. You can just put it into the editorial space, and that will answer
yeah.
that question for you.
Correct, correct.
That's
And
cool.
another thing to notice, we have used the service essentially leverages transformer based models to power these user queries, which is to say you don't really have even similar queries which mean the same. If you have those Q and A's present in the knowledge base, our system does a pretty good job of returning the right answer. But the confidence with which it returns the answer might vary. So let's try one example. So if you see the first question, who should I call for issues XXX? I just wrote a random answer
Right.
XXX. So if I type exactly this, of course, I should get the right answer. And that's not even, what the service is essential for.
Yeah, it's like
But the
cheating.
confidence will be, the confidence will be very high. One, because super confident that's the right answer because we just basically typed an exact query, right? But
Right.
that's not how the real world examples are. Users type variations and do very short form questions. So a probable question would be contact for issues, right? Give me the contact for the issues. And here again, our system does return the right response, but the confidence would be slightly different. It would be zero point 0.6, which is not that bad, right?
Right.
So because it was very different from the original Q&A, our system was still able to recognize it because we do semantic matches. But the confidence would be different. So the user has to be smart to understand, what confidence works. For most cases, we suggest, doing a zero point 0.5 threshold, but it depends on use case to use case. So if you're let's say a health care based customer, you need a high threshold score because the margin of error is very low. But if let's say you're a customer who's building, let's say, surface devices, then you can keep a confidence score of zero point 0.5, which is fine, which is mostly going to be right in most cases. But so it depends on use cases. What is the acceptable score for you? So I
That's
just wanted
cool.
to, yeah, yeah.
So that's cool. So
Uh,
it's not just memorizing things and you have to type it
of course,
exactly. It's also using transformer models.
of course,
You can also add your own editorial content. You can add whatever other
correct.
content in the custom. Okay, this is cool.
Cool. One last thing about custom Q&A before I switch to pre-built is the unstructured document bit, right? You remember I was telling you to focus on the price here. That's because I'm going to ask a question about the price to my
Ooh,
service. So we had added the unstructured document directly. So and it said starting at 999, right? But let me try asking it what is the price of Surface Laptop 4, right? Because that's what probably the user will be asking. One of the possible questions. So here, as you can see, it's pulled out the correct paragraph, which had that mention of the price, right, starting at $99.99, right? So it did pull out the right answer. And we also enable users to our customers to essentially include short answer responses. You can see a little checkbox here, which I have checked. And here we've returned a short answer, which is very specific. So this short answer feature is very useful in cases where the user is asking for very specific pointed question that when is it going to release, what price what price will it be available for, or which countries is it going to be available at. So all of those questions which are very specific, we can also include short answer responses because that's very straightforward, right? Hey, $999. So they don't need to read the entire text. So this is one feature. And we can again check the confidence, and the confidence is pretty good. 0.76 is a pretty good confidence score for this question. And again, the question was pretty different. What is the price? That was not how it was framed in our document, right? It was framed as starting at $999.9, but the system was intelligent enough to understand that we are asking about price. So
that's
that was
really cool.
one, okay, great. So yeah, so once you have added data sources, you have tested, we have seen a few use cases, then the user is expected to deploy. I'd already deployed it once a little while back, but you need to deploy it every time you change it so that your latest instance of the knowledge base goes to production. And once you've deployed, you can click on create a bot and we will guide you through a separate way of how to link this to Azure bot service. And this is essentially really how people can build bots using our custom Q&A service. So, Seth, should I move on to pre-built question answering
I
demo real
mean,
quickly?
you already floored me with this. I love the combination of putting unstructured, structured
Right.
documentation, and even editorial content, having the transformer models in there also to help, provide clarity to the questions. Even if they're a little fuzzy, still get the right thing. Yeah, I'd love to see how the pre-built one works.
Great. So pre-built is fairly, simple because we already don't let you. I mean, basically with pre-built, you don't really edit or maintain a custom information, so you don't really need to create projects on all of those things. So we clicked on answer questions, and here to simplify the demo, we've already added certain samples. So even any user can actually, whoever accesses this portal, they can select any of these samples. In the spirit of talking about Surface, I'm going to select some sample one, where we have just added, essentially it's a piece of text which I borrowed from this manual itself, right? So what the user will do is, they will pass a text, they will pass a user query. In this case, they're asking what is the size of Surface Laptop 4 models, and that's it, right? So they're passing a piece of text to us. This is pretty small, they can really pass like a large text, right? And the
Right.
limits will be always specified in the documentation. This is just for demonstration purposes. So this is a piece of text, this is the query, and a system is smart enough to kind of understand the language. And then all I do is just run, right? Just to check whether the system is able to return the response. And uh, of course it did, right? So my question was, what is the size of Surface Laptop 4 models? And it returned the response, both short and long answer. Short answer is 13.5 or 15-inch, and the long answer, and a confidence of 70, which is pretty decent. So this is
Wow.
really, so Prebuilt is super simple to, demo and understand.
Hold on. Let's scroll down a little bit, because
Yeah.
it looks like if you scroll, it looks like it even tells you where it found the
Yeah.
answer in the
Yeah,
return
visually.
JSON. Is that right?
Correct. It was very visual. You can really, we underline the part which basically had the answer.
And the reality is that because you're returning that in the JSON, so can you hit the JSON tab for me, because it's probably just in there, like where the text is. Yeah, and that's how you were able to underline. Yeah,
Yeah, correct.
that's cool.
Correct.
That's cool. I
The
mean,
in the JSON, users can see both the large answer as well as the short, and in the short answer, as you can see, right? Both of
that's cool. So, I mean,
here, sorry.
no, keep going, because I don't want to interrupt you. You were showing us.
All I was saying is, here we of course return the top answer, but the user can also specify how many top answers they want, in case they really want to do some sort of processing at their end, that okay, I want to display all the three answers and let the user, pick which one is the best, or whatever it is that they want to do, they can do. For demo purposes, we are only showing the top answer, but the user totally can specify how many top answers they want. That's all.
Well, this is fantastic. Is there anything else you want to show us, or where can people go to find out more about this service?
So, of course, you should start by visiting language.cognitive.azure.com, which is our language studio. I have provided, Seth, do you have the
Yeah,
links,
I'm showing it.
language documentation?
I'm showing it right
Great,
now. There's a documentation links. This is
great.
awesome. Any final words or thoughts before we go?
Yeah, just a couple of things. So regarding the future roadmap, what I would like to say. So regarding, so this roadmap is essentially around custom question answering. So some customers are interested in knowing what is next. So the couple of things I wanted to mention that we'll be working on. So one is analytics. So as you can understand that, um, it's a struggle to understand how people are actually consuming the service in the real world, right?
Yeah.
So we are trying to build some sort of analytic dashboard right here, like within the scope. Like when you open custom question answering, you should see some sort of analytics within the scope of a project. We haven't yet decided where, somewhere here, where the users will actually be able to visit. They'll be able to export the chat logs, probably based on the permissions. They will be able to see what score, how we are returning responses at what score intervals, and all of those things, which will help them actually optimize their knowledge base based on real world queries. And the second thing we're planning to work on is, currently, as you saw, there was only one instance, right, in the edit environment, and one instance in the production environment of KBs, and that's it. So we're trying to also work on versioning so that the users can create multiple versions of the same knowledge base and can quickly roll back, take backups, or just switch between them if something goes wrong. So these are a couple of things that we are planning to work on.
You have thought of everything, Disha. This has been impressive.
Thank you.
This is really cool. Thank you so much for being with us, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Seth, for having us. And please, and if anybody has any feedback, please do share it, with us. We're happy to, answer your queries. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Disha. We've been learning all about question answering now in general availability. Make sure you go check it out. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Take care. How about them apples? Oh, that was loud. Sorry. That was cool, right? I'm not gonna. I already did that. I pushed the wrong button. So let me. Let me remove this from the studio. Whoops. All right, some questions. Let's read this. The question says, hello, excellent service. Does Power Virtual Agent have a connector for this service, or can you use the old one from Q&A Maker? That's a great question. I think question answering is the latest version of Q&A Maker. But the reality is, since it's an API, I'm pretty sure there's got to be some connectors for it. If there isn't, Pablito Piova, make sure to message me, seth.juarez@microsoft.com, and we'll see if we can't get you the answer. That's a fantastic question. Next question from Diego. DF Meta. I have a project in I got to turn off that part because I can't. I have a project in Q&A Maker service. Can I migrate it to question answering? I'm pretty sure you can. Give it a try, and if you can't, then let me know. Because we need to fix that. All right. Looks like we have some other folks here. Hello, JPete190. Welcome. We are international audience. Hi from Brazil, Stefan Magnum Fernandes de Mendonça. Muito obrigado. Eu posso dizer umas quantas coisas no português se eu quero, mas eu falo espanhol. That's all the Portuguese I can do. Hopefully you guys and gals were like, that's awesome. I'll put some background music there. Looks like we also have Vladimir Morozov. Привет, мой друг, как дела? Всё хорошо сегодня? That's my Russian. And on the screen it says Vladimir Morozov. You like that? I took Russian for 1 year. That was it. Welcome. All right, so just a reminder of the things that we may or may not cover. Boop. Boop. Voting time. If you don't vote, I'm going to pick one. We can continue working on our... there we go. We can continue working on this goodness. Rochambeau, this one. This is option A. And we can look at ML flow models, how they're built, and then see if we can't write something to take Hugging Face models and convert them into ML flow models. Because the thing about ML flow is it's an open source implementation for ML ops, but they have a model format. And if I can find a way to convert anything into ML flow, then in Azure ML, we take a really strong dependency on open source projects because we feel like if you're already doing that, we might as well support it. We have our own way of doing it as well. But if I can make an ML flow model, then that means that I can register models in the AML model registry and then push them right to production. So this is option number 2. So again, we can either do, let me find Galaxy Pen. I'm going to use the Galaxy Pen. We can either choose option A or option number 2. That was on purpose. Or option number 2. So if you can in the chat, A or 2, and I'll let you all decide. Just put it right in the chat. If you're in YouTube, there's a little chat right next to. I think it's going to be that way. Or if you're in Twitch, same goes for y'all. Would you like me to look at ML flow models and how they're built, and build a conversion from Hugging Face to ML flow? I don't know if they have that. I don't think they do, at least not that I've seen. Or would you like me to continue Rochambeau? Again, option A or option number 2. Let's get some decision music here going. Option A or option A or option number 2. This is a community-driven show. I'm leaning towards number 2, by the way. So just want to let you know. This will be more in the spirit of AI, machine learning. This, again, is more React. Or this. So I'm leaning towards number 2. Hello from Nigeria. Hello, my friend. Welcome. Number 2, yeah. I'm getting a number 2 here. Number 2 here. I honestly really like the number 2 idea. Another number 2. Yeah, look, we're having some consensus here. And our decision music has only got about a minute left. We all decided it's looking overwhelmingly like we're gonna do number 2. I should not have done that. Like my 10-year-old self is like, which one are you gonna do, Seth? Number 2. Are you sure you want to call it that, Seth? Yeah, I think I do. All right, so we got some votes for number 2. Number 2 there, number 2 there, number 2 there. Here we go. Thanks for the communication. My pleasure. My pleasure. All right, 10 more seconds, and looks like we are having an overwhelming preponderance of number 2s. Thank you. All right, so number 2. So I actually already started a project. I didn't write anything yet. I was like, I need to work on this. Here it is. So basically, I use poetry, which is fantastic because it's going to be in Python, if that's okay. Welcome, everyone. So I'm going to use Python. And I started here with this notion of a model. I like this name, so I called it Cortic. And let's take a look at what we're going to do. And let's see if we can get it to work. So there is a GFP GAN on Hugging Face. So let's find that right now. huggingface.co GFP GAN. I think it's this one. Yes. The D ages, let the D, like, you know how we used to watch oh, the font is too small. Let me zoom it. Do you know how like we used to watch our crime shows and it was like enhance, and that was not possible because it didn't exist. Now it is. So this thing takes pictures and makes them newer. I actually downloaded it. I downloaded it and used it, and it's really good. So let's take a look at how it works. Show more options. Open with VS Code. Beep, 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 beep. Control plus. Make things a wee bit bigger. And the reality is, let's see how it works. So when you call it, you call this inference thing. Dude's like, no, not Python. I mean, that's how you build models, though. I mean, it's in Python. I don't know what else to say. I didn't choose. I am but your humble messenger. I didn't choose. All right, so looks like this thing, how does it work? Let's take a look here. Read me. Read me. We don't need this. GFP GAN aims at developing practical algorithms for real-world face restoration. It leverages rich and diverse priors encapsulated in a pre-trained face GAN, style GAN 2, for blind face restoration. If GFP GAN is useful for your photos, please star this repo and recommend it to your friends. I am recommending this to all of you. So there it is. Dependencies and installation. It looks like it's got the regular things. Looks like it has a pre-trained model that can be downloaded, which is exactly what we want. We want to use the one in our original paper model for inference. No colorization, no CUDA extensions are required. GFP GAN V1 PTH, the paper model with colorization. Okay. We're going to use this one because remember, I went out and bought myself a new computer, and my computer has this honkin' beautiful thing here. We have a GPU, and we're going to use it. Okay. Boop. Can we do Rust for a change? I want to learn Rust. I've been thinking of like doing like maybe like a Twitch stream, like at night, because my wife takes pottery and art classes at night, and when my kids go to bed, I'm thinking, maybe I'll do like an hour a week learning Rust, because Rust sounds very interesting to me. It's all the power of C++ without the leak problems. Right. And I was actually there. I was at a talk by the creator of Rust that had to be like 7 years ago. And the dude seemed awesome. It's the same place I met Bjarne Strautza, creator of C. I'm not trying to be cool. I'm like all like throwing names out, Well, I know so and so. They don't know me. But I know them. Okay, so we have a GPU to do that. So we're gonna use this one. So we want to use the paper model. So that's what we're going to look at now. Here's the paper model. Git clone to install dependencies. StyleGAN uses customized PyTorch C++ extensions. You need to compile them during installation or load them just in time JIT. You can refer to basic install for more details. Compile extensions during installation. For those need to train inference from any time. This is going to be us. I wonder if we're going to have to put this into a container. But it looks like we use this pip install basic SR. Okay, cool. Okay, load extensions just in time. Option 1. And then for aligned images, this. Okay, so let's take a look. So it looks like there's this pre-trained inference GFP GAN thing that you run. You have to give it the model path. You have to give it the test path of the whole images. And then you have to save the results to some file. And looks like there's this channel thing. So let's go to the actual inference GAN and take a look at that. So there's a lot of arguments. I think the ones that we saw used are... God, why does it do that? Model path, that makes sense. Model path, test path, and then save root. This is where we save them, and then original architecture. Original. I think that tells you that they're using the original. This one, and then channel equals 1, and then aligned. I don't know what aligned images is, so we'll just ignore that. We'll do this one. Okay. Whole images. Cool. Okay, I see what this is. This takes crop faces and aligns them to the actual image. Okay, cool. So we need to, let's notepad our way into what we need. We need to learn about the test path. Then we need to do the save brut. Then we're going to see the architecture. Looks like there's original and extra crispy. Is it blurry? I'm sorry. Sorry. Hopefully it's getting better. Architecture is regular or extra crispy. Look, these are the jokes, people. And then we have channel 1. So let's take a look at what this actually means in here. I don't know why I just didn't do this. Split right. I'm going to sneeze. Sorry. And let's take this thing and let's put it in there. Okay, cool. So let's go over here to these parameters. We can get rid of this thing. And looks like architecture. There is clean and original. And we want the original, right? Not extra crispy. So it looks like there's clean and original. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to see if I can't make a quick little project. cd.mkdir face unblur face unblurrer. Face unblur. I think this is face unblurrer. Face unblurrer. Boop. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to code dot in here. Okay. Cool. So we'll forget this other thing because I think before I can make a generic way of doing this, I need to figure out how to do it specifically for one particular model. So there's face unblurrer. And then I don't remember how to do Python environment. So let's Python environment. Oh, and incidentally, if you hear environ, if you hear weird sounds, my water heater broke. So there's folks fixing my water heater. All right. So how do we create a Python environment? I have to look this stuff up all the time because I just don't remember anything. Face unblurrer. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start from scratch. And anyone that's not a Python dev, that is okay. We're going to say Python -m vm. There's got to be a better. This documentation's great, but it looks like I've looked at that one before. I already did that. No quiero. I don't like pipenv. Jeez. Here we go. Yeah. Let's do that. Let's just do that. I could use Conda, but I want to put everything in there. Isn't there a VS Code template that will stub out a Python ML project? I did not know if there is. If there is, what happened? That feels wrong. It should be dot. Reveal in File Explorer. That should be dot .vm. Oh, no, it's not. I'm so dumb. Delete. There we go. Cool. Cool. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a new file. And I'm going to call it score.py for scoring. And then it's going to be like, okay, what should we do? So then if I do this and I say, we're going to use the virtual environment in here, it should, oh, look at that. Yes, redo. Okay. And now when I go like this, it should start up the right virtual environment. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to do a new folder, model, and then we're going to do a git ignore just to make sure, because I'm probably going to put this up. Again, what we're doing, for those that are popping in just now, is I'm taking this Hugging Face model that deblurs a face, and I'm trying to build a runner. Why make it? Oh, good question. So the question: why make it .vm instead of just VM? I don't know. It's preference. Maybe I did it wrong. And then VS Code is docs. Oh, hey, look at that. VS Code. Here we go. Nice. We did that. Other options. Oh, look at this. Nice. Select a Python interpreter. We've done that. Create a Python source. Yes. Yes. Run hello world. Yes. Yes. Install and use packages. Oh, looks like they're using WSL here. I don't use WSL. Yes. Yeah. See how they do it here. They do the .vm. So that's why it's not why I was inspired by that, but yeah. Okay, cool. So it looks like we're on the right path here. I should have just looked at that doc here. Cool. Okay, so now we're in the right Python environment. Now I need to do the .git ignore, and we're gonna .vemb. No, this right, and then we'll do the PyCache deal. This is all we're doing. This all from scratch. Okay, and then obviously the model file, the model folder, we do not want, and then get in it to do that. Maybe I should put my face to the side here. Is this better or is this better? 1, 2. 1, 2. 1. It's like we're at the eye doctor's place. 1, 2. Okay, cool. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna download this model to put it in there. There it is. So download the pre-trained model here. So let's find that. That's downloading right now. Let's see how big it is. Is it? Oh, snap. It's only 587 megs. That's all. Maybe we should start with the not original. We should do like extra crispy. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to get this requirements.txt to make sure we're installing the right thing. Holy cow, it's still downloading. Oof. New file. Requirements.txt. Boop. Boop. And let's get this environment set up to do the right thing. I wonder if basics CSR ext. I wonder if I can do this because I don't know. Let's see if this works. I don't know if it's just a Windows thing that it might prevent me from doing that, but yeah, it looks like I can't do that. Well, stinky. Let me try the other one without. How do I basic SRX? Let's see. Set end variables window PowerShell power variables. Oh. Cool. So let's do that. But let's set it so that we get the actual thing that we want. So, nope. We want this. Okay. And then let's try doing this. Here we go. Here we go. Ooh, this might not work. Now here is the file. Oh, you're hearing the people making the things are happening over here. Let's just let that do its thing. Here's the GAN. Shall we have a look? See? Let's take a look. Oh, look at that thing. Oh, wow. I've never seen models like this. It's not even letting me log in, zoom in. Oh. What is this? Interesting. It's just really big. All right. Oh, there it is. Okay, this is still doing its thing, which is great. Then we need to install a couple more things. This and this. Oh, Python setup.py develop. I don't think we need to do this. I mean, why do we need to do this? We don't need to do this. Okay. So now let's get into the actual thing. When this thing loads, it looks at the upsampler. We don't have that. We don't have that. Else, BG upsampler is no. We're not upsampling the background, just the faces for now. Upscale. Let's see here. BG sampler. Upscale. The final upsampling scale of the image default is 2. So that's always going to be 2 for us. Architecture is old. And then BG upsampler is whether we're doing the upsampler. And then the channel multiplier that for us was 1. And that's it. So it looks like there is this thing called the GFP GAN-er that we need to instantiate. Oh, and this is probably why we need to do the setup on that class. Is this the only file? What else is it using? Where's this coming from? Yeah, looks like they have a couple of things coming in here. So you'll see over here in the architectures, there's 2. There is this one. No, not this one, not this one. Oh, jeez, I keep going to the wrong spot. Oh, no, here it is. No, this isn't it. Go to definition. Don't save. Yeah, so you can see what's happening is since we are doing the architecture is not clean, our architecture is the regular one. We are making a GFP GAN v1, which is this thing. Cool. This one. UNet plus style GAN. UNet plus style GANs. Where are those coming from? There's this. Okay, not this one. Oh, they're here. Here. GFP GAN v1. So it looks like when we initialize these things, we're looking at the GFP GAN V1, which is this one. Okay, there's the channels. There's all the convolutional layers. Looks like it's adding in res blocks and convolutional layers, module lists, etc. So what I'm going to do, just for kicks and giggles, is I'm going to take this entire class, because it's the one we want, right here, and I'm just going to put it over here. Again, in the interest of oh, that worked. In the interest of you know what? I think the requirements the get ignore should be not this, but star.pth. And then here, new file, model.py. Cool. Now let's go back over here to this thing. Yeah, and these things are all not in the thing. Okay, these are not all in the thing. So I can go, in theory, like this, as soon as, as soon as I install the rest of the requirements. So let's go over here. Let's go to the paper model. It always goes at the top, which is kind of not cool. And then we will add these things. Oh no, just these ones. These ones. We need those two things. And so we'll go back to our other project here, and we'll just pip install facexlib. Oh crap! Hopefully it's putting it in this environment. Let me do another here to see. Oh, good. It's the right one. It's the right one. Cool. Cool. So this is still doing okay. That's good. Cool. Then we'll do this one. Here we go. Here we go. This is gonna keep bothering me. Jeez. I'll upgrade it. Okay. You keep bugging me, and I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. That's it. I'm just gonna do it. Okay, so now this environment should have everything it needs to instantiate the GFP GAN V1 model. Except for here, what res up block is not defined, and then style to GAN generator SFT. So those we need. For here, what are we talking about? What's going on? So down here, style to GAN generator SFT is not defined. And then over here, we have the res up block is not defined. So let's go see what's going on. So let's look for res up. Let's look for res up block first. Okay. Oh, here, we need this one. Go to definition. There it is. So it looks like we need these two. Which is cool. It's cool. It's cool. I got you. It's cool. It's cool. We got you. Okay. So we fixed that. And now if we go down to this last one, looks like we need the res up block. The res up block. So let's go get that. And that's it. I might put this in there just because I don't know what this actually does. Registers given object under object name can be used as either decorator or not. See docstring for class usage. Go to definition. No definition. Go to type definition. Register the given blah, blah, blah. I don't know what this does. From Facebook Research Registry. The registry that provides name object mapping to support third-party users' custom modules. To create a registry, backbone registry. I don't know what a backbone registry is. This is cool. We'll save this for another time. Cool. So we need another class. And then we need the obviously the conv. Looks like we need the conv up layer, which I didn't know we would do not, but I like to go through these things systematically, so I know what's going on. And so there we have that. Class res up block, and this was here. Okay. All right. So in theory, we have everything in here to instantiate this model, right? In theory. Okay. So as I'm going, please ask me questions about what I'm doing, because right now it's like, what the freak is he doing? So let me tell you. Let's whiteboard that. I'm so dumb. I actually have a whiteboard. So let's whiteboard this so that you can see what's going on. Because I think you're like, what is he doing? He's pasting some code and downloading a file. So the way machine learning works is you have a lot of data. Oh, I gotta get out of that thing. That was embarrassing. You have a lot of data, right? And you build this thing called a model. I'm going to make it like a model is this square thing. And you push a lot of data through it, right? And the internals of the model, get updated so that once these numbers are filled out, it creates this model that has populated data in it, right? We just downloaded that. We downloaded all of the weights. That's what this thing is here. Let me, when I say this thing, let me zoom it. That's what this is. That is a model that has been trained. Now, it's literally just a file with a bunch of numbers in it. I kid you not. Tons of numbers. And you are right. Blackboard. Excusez-moi, s'il vous plaît. So we downloaded that entire model. That's what we did. We downloaded. Now, in order to actually use that model, we have to load those numbers into the actual programmatic structure. And you're like, well, what is that? Well, that's this. That's this thing. It turns out that it's, where's the, let me minimize some of these things. Oops. That's this thing. This is the thing. In fact, if you look at that, and they did it this way, I think on purpose, it's the same thing. So imagine this is like, if you're a C# developer, this is like the assembly. If you're a Java developer, this is like the jar file. You've serialized an instance of a thing. This here is like the class file that gets hydrated with those things. Okay, we good? Okay. I'm going to take a sip here of my drink. So that's what we're doing. So now scoring, right? I'm going to have what's called a def init, which is going to load up, we'll say pass for now, but this is going to load up the model, and then def predict. We'll put a path to a file there. Will produce output. Pass. Okay. And to do that, we are going to have to say import GFP from model dot model. Oh, that's unfortunate. We'll just rename this. Okay. Arigatou gozaimasu. Why can't it be resolved? I don't know why it's doing that, but in theory, we should say Python score, and it should work. I'm wrong language. This is the wrong language. It's backwards. I got it backwards. Sorry. Kapow! So now we've loaded. Yes, I know. Janice Goo is like, Seth, no, we do not name things. Hold on. Let's. Seth, from model.model import GFP GAN v1. Sounds not cool. You are right. That's why I'm taking it off. Please want to learn more about this summary? Yes. So again, what I'm doing is I went to Hugging Face. I downloaded this model. You can see files and versions here, by the way. And I think I just went to their how to clone, and I just cloned it. And so I have it. And what I've done is I'm trying to make this into a service. That can be used on Azure ML, so I can pass it a file, and out comes like a thing. This is all coming from Hugging Face, though. They are amazing. If you look at the model card, they're like, please tell your friends. This is awesome. If you like it, tell everyone. That's what I'm doing. Okay. Cool. Okay, cool. So the init, we should probably have a model to load up. So I'm going to say model of type GFPGAN v1 equals none. Right? And then I'm going to say, and then I'm going to say, how do I do this? I always forget this because sometimes I feel like github.com. I always forget my Python things because, that's what I do. Here we go. Boop. Okay. Python score. Okay, good. So everything's going good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to load up this GAN, generative adversarial network. Let's see how they do it, because I want to make sure I do it right. Okay, oakley dokley. So restorer looks like this. Well, that's not happy. I think that's the wrong one, if I'm being honest, because we're not doing. Where's the restorer? Yeah, I think it is this one. Go to definition. I think this is the actual thing. And we don't have this. Yeah. We'll call this the GFP GAN-er. So the other thing is the shape. This is the thing that loads it up and does some of the work. But I don't see, like, we're going to start cleaning some of this up because we don't need it all. Like, for example, we don't need this. So we're going to say from GFP GAN v1 import this. We don't need this one. Okay, we'll keep that. Okay. We don't need this architecture thing. So we can get this gone. Right, so we can get rid of this. We don't need this else. We can go like this. Cool. Where is this coming from? Face restore help. That's the face x lib. Cool, 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 cool. So that's not us. If model path starts with self.gfpgan load state dictionary strict equals to self.gfpgan eval self.to self device. Cool. Cool, cool. Cool, cool. Okay. 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 Cool, 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 cool. This does the work. This does the actual work. Okay, cool. So far, so good. So good. And this loads the model. Let's see what it does. So it checks for devices. There's a channel decoder fixer. This BG upsampler, background upsampler, it's set to none. I'm gonna just leave it like this for now, because maybe we do want to do a background upsampling. You know. By the way, if you're not following, feel free to just say at any time, "Hey Seth, what is that?" And I'm happy to go back. You know, because we've got about 40 minutes to get this to work, and it feels like we might make it this time. You know how sometimes we don't make it. So BG upsampler set to none is fine. Model path is fine. And that's all we need to instantiate it, actually. So let's go to score, and let's just say from model.gfpganner import gfpganner. Maybe I should rename this. No, I'll just leave it. Oh, I should have. I can't. Why did I not say AN? Cool. Okay, so for us, the model path is literally this. args.upscale. Oh, I deleted that file, didn't I? Oh, you booger. Let's go back to this thing. args.upscale. Let's see, there's the model path. Yeah, this is background. This is the background up sampler. I mean, we could add it in there because it looks like they already have things in there. But we'll try to get the thing. We'll try to get the thing to do the right thing first. So okay, let's see what the model says. So channels are 1. Channel is 1. So we'll set the channel multiplier to just 1. Remember, we don't need this anymore because we took it out. Remember? And then the upscale, let's see the upscale here. Upscale. Upscale defaults to 2. And they're not putting it in here. So we'll just leave it at 2 for now. And then this we can pass in none. Okay. Okay. Cool. We don't need this then because this is basically a wrapper around that. Okay. Cool. And let's find an old picture. Old World War II soldier. And let's go to images. Cool. And let's do this. Let's do we'll filter for the license of free to share and use. How about this one? We are in the face unblur, and then we're going to make a new folder called data, and then we'll put it in here. We're also going to learn if they train this on people that are not of color. So we'll see what's going on here. We're going to learn a couple of things real fast. So just FYI. Okay, so then we're going to do init, and then we're going to say predict data soldiers.jpg. Okay. So if we did all of this right, I am just going to, oops, I think I just closed that real quick. Oops, sorry. Okay, cool. Module not found, GFP GAN V1. Cool. Okay, cool. So things are happening. Cool. So what's the problem here? So let's take a look at this. No such file or directory gfpgan.pth. Is it using this? Maybe there's. Let me do this. Let me just be completely strict about this. Model path equals path dot absolute print model path. Yes, and this is not right. Oh, I know. I know what I got to do. I got to do this. I got to do this. By the way, what I'm doing incidentally, is what typically an ML engineer would do. What happens is they get a model, and the data scientists have made this wonderful thing, and they prove that it works. Now I'm trying to put it into production. So that's what I'm doing right now. Oh, you want to see something cool? Okay, so this should put us here in the root. This should put us into the right spot. Let's get a this is the right one. Projects, face on blur, model. Oh. Derp. Derp. Okay. The model is a loading. Cha-ching, cha-ching. So far, so good. Cool. We might actually get the. I might actually get an endpoint going on this. I mean, maybe. Okay. So notice that we're getting the right paths. This is the right image path. Now what we need to do is we need to take this single image and output another image. So we're going to... I don't know why I keep doing it the dumb way. So let me just F5 this. Cool. So now we can go to debug console and I can say image. Oh. Oh. Here we go. Oh, I didn't set a breakpoint. Oh, Seth. Or is it just a Seth way? Yeah, it's like principal engineer here, still using print statements when I could be using the debugger. Welcome to me. So let's F10 here. Let's go to debug console. Let's say image. Cool. Image dot. And let's see what we got here. We want to get the I want to get the actual like path, because I'm going to write out a random number picture. That's the just for now. So we want no. Same files. Directory, drive. Well, that's not helpful. Path, parent. Oh, oops. Parent controlled Perfect. And then we want the directory location equals we're going to say image dot parent, which is also path, and then what we're going to do is we're going to say output equals we're going to say image dot parent. Oh, I don't even need that. I'll just say image dot parent / path, and then we'll just say, blah 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 dot jpeg. And we'll just say image path here just to be more cool. And then we can just say print image path. Goodness gracious. Image path. And then output. So we'll stop, and then this one we can just run because we don't need to. Oh, no. Stop. Oh, we don't need this debug window. It's this one that I want. Okay, so we're loading the model. You can see this is where we're having the soldiers, and this is where we're going to output the thing. I guess what I could do is I could like name this something else, but we just want the thing to work before we get all fancy with how we're going to. Okay. So now that we've done that and we have the GFP GAN there, looks like it goes through each path. It gets the base name and the extension, which I'm not sure we need. So we're going to need CV2. Oh, wrong one. Why do I keep going to the wrong one? Whoa, how did I get that in there? Oh, it's not accessed. That's fine. Okay. There you go. So we have that. And now when we go here, what we do for each file is we load it up, we enhance, we save the faces, and restore the image. Okay, so let's go through that first. So the first thing we're going to do is we already did this. We're not doing all of the images. I'm just going to take this. And it's going to be mad, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You can be mad for a second while we figure this out. Okay. And we're going to need to get some things. Cool. So we'll have to figure that out. And then we get all the crop faces, save root, suffix. We can fix this. And then it just, yeah, okay, cool. This is not hard. We can do this. So let's go over to the first thing we need is we need the I am save function. I am right. Sorry, the I am right. I am right. I am right. Hold on, I'll make it funny. So let's go over here and let's get the I am right. Put this goodness right here. Okay. Args has aligned, and I think the default, and then args only face center or args pace back. We're just going to take the default values because that's what I do. So I'm going to move this over so I can look at it. Args aligned, store true, so that means it's false. So we'll do false. Slash falsy. Only center, that's arg only center face. I don't see only center face, so. Oh yeah, store true, that means it's false. And then paste back. Store false, that means this is true. Now the way I'm getting these is here, for example, has aligned. You can see right. Where's has aligned? Model path, upsampler, test path, only center face, aligned. Yeah, so that's where that comes from. If it's not set, it's set to false, right? And if they set it, if they say dash dash align, that means it stores a true. Paste back, same, but the opposite. So that's why I put those values in there. Okay, cool. So args save root. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say the saved root is the out path, the parent. No, let's do parent. We'll do parent slash. We'll do parent slash output. That's the out path, and I'll put here. I'll put no folder output. So that would be the out path. So args.suffix is not none. I think at this point, if it's not none, let's see what the default is. Suffix of the restored faces, type string, default none. So if it's not none, then we're going to store. I'm just gonna take that out. Save root for us is the out path. Little NP in there. Oh. Okay. Again, string out path. And then it's to say if the args.extension is auto, we already decided that we're not going down here. If the restored image is not none and args.extension is auto, extension, where's ext coming from? There it is. Okay. For us, it's just auto. So we'll just do this. Okay. All right. I think that does it. So we're going through all the faces. crop faces, restored faces, restored image. We're saving the crop path to the out path. Those are all the crop faces that get pulled out. Then we IM write the path, and then what we do is if the restored image is not none, where is this coming from? That's it. If it's not none, meaning there's something in there, then we're going to save it out with all of the I mean, let's try it. You know, what's the worst that can happen? Nothing. Should we? No, I'm just gonna run it. Okay. Cannot convert object to string for file name. Line 67. There. 33. Oh, yeah. I have to do that. Oops, that was dumb. Again, just reveal in File Explorer. Just for what it's worth, we are trying to fix these images. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that there so that we can look at it afterwards. Okay. Line 67, predict data.soldiers. Oh no. Name fuse act ext is not defined. So there's a fused leaky ReLU. $364. It's time to F5. $512, okay. This looks like the library is having a problem. Here we go. Oh, I hate it when they do this kind of stuff. Oh my gosh. I wonder if there's a way to set an environment in Python. Python set environment variable windows. I mean, I guess we could cheat. Let's try that. Sorry. Yeah, it's still not liking that. I knew we would run into something like this, but it's okay. We got 10 minutes. We're going to figure this out. I think we did this before. This might be a problem with... I might have to do the slower version. Yeah, this is... Let's try the slower version. Just for now. Where's the... Okay. Let's try the slower version for now. It's just I should have done this in WSL. I don't know what I was thinking. So let's do the regular model. Oh. No. Oh, here it is. Dang, so close. I wonder if there's a way to let's look at the paper model. Let me do this. Let me kill this. Let me do this without the environment variable. How do you uninstall a package? Okay. Cool. So hopefully it put the one with not the JIT in it. So we'll take that out. Dang, this is the problem. We have not tested on Windows. I see. Okay. I'll have to figure this out. Let's see if just what I just did makes it so that it's not going to try to score things. Yeah, it's not doing it. Oh, how is stinky? Yeah, for some reason, let me do this. I'm going to kill the environment, delete. Let me exit here so everything doesn't like destroy itself. Then what I'm going to do is I am going to install the environment all over again. Cool. All these things are not in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the installation that has the basic stuff. Where you at? Where you at? Oh, it's probably... Oh, it's probably over here in this document. So we'll do this. Oh, let me witch pip though. No, that's not what we want. That's definitely not what we want. So we'll go over here and set the virtual environment here. Whew, I almost polluted one of my Conda environments. There we go. Pip. It's probably... Let me upgrade the pip. Oh, time for the walk-off music here. Okay. We'll do that. Then we'll do this. Oh. And if it takes a couple extra minutes, we're okay. By the way, next week, if you're wondering while this installs, we have 30 days to learn AI fundamentals with Aisha and B. Make sure you tune into that. That's coming up next week. It's pretty cool. Come on. Hurry. Yes. Here we go. Here we go. 2 minutes. Come on. Who's your daddy? I can't look. I can't look. Ah! We'll figure this out. I'll figure it out. It's probably something dumb. It's probably me needing to use WSL. But the idea is that once we figure out how to score this, then I want to push this into a ML Flow model, so that other folks can enjoy this in a standard format, and then hopefully we can do this with other models as well. So it's been a pleasure to be with you all. I will continue to fix this next week. I'll find out what the actual problem is, and we'll take a look at it, not next week, but whenever I'm on next. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. This has been another fabulous episode of the AI Show, where we've gone through and done some deep learning stuff that an ML engineer would do. And again, we only spent about 90 minutes on it, which is not a lot of time. And that was with me coming at it cold. I probably should have figured it out before, but I didn't know what you were going to choose. So thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, if you need something, please let us know. You can always email me at seth.juarez.com, or you can seth.juarez@microsoft.com, or you can reach out to me on Twitter using @SethJuarez. Thank you so much for being with us, and hopefully we'll see you next time.